don't have to be big to be wise, or clever being tall never mattered at all. What really counts is having large amounts of love and giving what you can. For even though you're tiny, you can still have mighty plans. You don't have to be big to be wise or wonderful, and I guess that a Minikin knows that best. I suppose that a Minikin knows that best. Oh, I know that a Minikin knows that best of all.
Our visit to Bilbo Island started out like a lovely dream.
Tennis courts beyond?
It was just as nice as my husband had remembered it. But we didn't know there were other people on the island. And who could believe they were only 8 inches high? Whatever is that? But they were delightful little people. When my husband wouldn't cancel his big building project, they took things into their own hands.
What have you done to me?
Simply made you one of us.
But why?
Your plans threatened our whole existence. We had to resist you with the only weapon we have.
The reducing berry.
We fed you the juice while you were unconscious. It was the only way. Here, let's help you out. And you'd better put this on. All right, I'm ready. Pull me up. Now, perhaps you'll explain. We've reduced you to our size in order to consider your case before a proper court.
My case? I'm not your prisoner.
You're in our power. You won't get very far without our help, not as you are now.
What about my wife and daughter? They'll still be in the tent. They'll wonder what happened.
We'll send word to them in good time. First of all, we must decide what's to become of you. The Court of Elders will assemble at 10 o'clock.
Court of Elders?
See that he's there in good time, Pincus.
Cheer up. It's not the end of the world.
What am I gonna do?
Do as Magnus says. Plead your case as well as you can.
Like this?
Just the same as you always were, only smaller.
Never bothered us.
Come on, we better hurry.
Yeah,
You know how fussy Magnus is about punctuality.
Paul? Paul? Where are you?
What's the matter?
Well, your father's gone. I didn't hear him leave.
He's probably just gone out exploring the island some more. He's so fascinated with it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. I wonder what is about his plans since we found these little people on the island.
I hope he abandons the whole idea. I mean, they're such delightful little characters, and Dad's plans, well, they destroy their whole way of life.
I have to agree with you, Trudy. But your father's so enthused about this project. It's been his dream for so long.
Yes, but you shouldn't hurt other people just to make a dream come true.
That's true. Oh, I'm sure he'll work out a fair solution. Right now, I'd like to try and get a little more sleep while your father's out exploring the wonders of his island paradise.
One more, dear.
Any word from Paul?
No, I didn't expect to hear from him. There's no telephone or telegraph on the island.
But at least he has arrived.
I assume so.
I don't understand. Why this island, Bilbo? Why not another island closer to us?
Because it is completely uninhabited. It's an island paradise, Schmidt. Perfect weather, warm breezes, beautiful sunny beaches. And we can run this complex without any local interference. And besides, we won't have to pay any taxes either.
As your financial backer, that appeals to me. Provided Paul doesn't hit any unexpected snags.
He seemed pretty confident. Paul is a fast worker, and I should think that by now he has this whole scheme nicely tied up.
You should have run. Close call. You shouldn't have run off like that, Paul. Get off there. I didn't know that.
None of us would dare go through the jungle on our own.
I guess we're going to be late for court. Tom Magnus will be furious. Don't be afraid, Paul.
Just tell me what you told us.
Will you step into the box, please?
The court is now in session.
What is your name?
Paul Herman.
And you come from the land of the giants?
Yes, from the civilized world.
Will you tell the court, please, your purpose in coming to the island of Bilbo?
I want to build a leisure complex for tourists.
Silence in the court!
Mr. Herman, you must use words our people understand. Exactly what are tourists?
People in Europe who like to travel on their holidays.
Holidays?
The time they take off from work. You see, we work very hard for most of the year.
Yes, that I understand. Carry on.
A leisure complex. There'd be a hotel. That is a huge house where all these people can stay. There'd probably be a swimming pool, tennis courts. Tennis is a game people play.
This is very mystifying. And the result would be to bring hundreds of giant people to our little island.
Yes, but they wouldn't do any harm, and they'd bring plenty of money.
What is money?
Well, look, if you want something from somebody, you have to give him something in return, right?
Oh, yes, that I understand. Like if a woman repaints your house, you invite her to share a meal with you.
Something like that, yes. Only we don't pay with meals. we pay with money. Oh, money is a paper which, if you own it, allows you to buy anything you want, if it's cheap enough.
Cheap?
Cheap, yes. Inexpensive. Every piece of money is only worth as much as the paper says it is. So if you want bigger things, you have to pay more money.
That's very complicated. Why would you want other things than food and shelter? I mean, you don't pay if you want to have fun, do you?
Well, yes. With us, you pay for just about everything.
Silence in court!
How do you expect to understand these people if we don't listen to them? The next person to interrupt the proceedings of this court will be locked in his house until we're finished. We already have everything we need.
But you're standing in the way of progress.
Progress. We hear occasional stories about your progress in the land of the giants. We prefer to live our own lives without your kind of progress.
What do you suggest should happen?
We reduced you to our size as a warning. Now, if you will give us your solemn word that you will go away from here, give up all your plans for building huge houses, and promise never to return, we will feed you the special plant and bring you back to your full giant human size.
But I simply can't do that. I'm a member of what we call a company. I have a partner, a financial backer, a board of directors. Why, even if I promised to stop the development, they'd probably insist on coming down here themselves and carrying on with it.
But if they saw you as you are now, they might change their minds, perhaps.
I doubt it.
Well, it's the only way. We have decided. You must go back to the land of the giants and show yourself to your friends as you are now, and explain to them why your scheme cannot possibly proceed. Once they agree, you may return to the island of Bilbo, and we will restore you to your proper size.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Ridiculous or not, it is the decision of this court. And having come to this land, you have placed yourself under our laws.
But
there is no appeal. There's only one way out of your predicament. The session of this court is closed.
Court will now rise.
well, what do I do now?
Do as he says, Paul.
How can I go back to civilization like this?
Your wife and daughter will help you.
Yeah. Come on, we'll take you to them.
Yeah,
We'll all
let's
help
go.
you. Come on.
Anna, wake up. Anna, it's me.
Paul? Paul?
Daddy!
It's all right.
Whatever happened to you?
I heard a noise in the night.
That was me. I have a special stream.
That's horrible.
I followed the sound through the jungle. I could hardly see, even though it was moonlight. And then suddenly, the ground gave way beneath me.
That was our special trap.
And I fell in. I must have hit my head and lost consciousness.
While he was asleep, we fed him the reducing berry.
And when I woke up,
Daddy, what are you gonna do?
Can't they feed you the other plant? The one the little old man talked about. To get you back to size?
They will. On one condition.
On condition he goes back and stops his people from building that, what do you call it?
Hotel.
Yeah, hotel on the island.
But you can't do that.
I have to.
But you're so tiny. They'll laugh at you.
That is the problem.
And your voice, Paul, it doesn't sound at all like you.
Well, I'm talking the same way I always have, but it comes out different now.
How will you travel? You can't just go sit on an airplane. You'd cause a sensation. People would stare at you.
Why should they stare? People don't. Not on Bilbo.
Because you're all the same size. In our country, you'd be looked on as little freaks.
Perhaps I should come with him.
You?
Why not? I'm used to being this size. You could get into all sorts of trouble without me.
It might be useful to have you with me.
Well, if you're going, I'm going too. I've heard a lot about the land of the giants. Well, if you're going, I'm going.
We'd all help him.
I can cook for him, and I can keep him out of trouble.
I'd think of ways to help him solve his problems.
What do you think?
I need all the help I can get.
We'll have to ask Magnus.
Why Magnus?
Well, you see, Magnus is our leader. And if we want to go, we have to get his permission first. Well, let's go find him, quickly. Yeah.
We'll be back.
I still can't believe it.
Well, neither can I.
Is there no other way to get you back to size?
I've tried to think of one, but the old man Magnus is the only one of them who knows the formula. It's from a plant that grows around here, but which plant?
Can I go and see the pit?
I'll take you. Get dressed.
You two go ahead. I don't want to see it.
Magnus! Magnus! Magnus!
Magnus, please, give us permission. Please.
What for?
To go with the giant man. That is, the man who was a giant man.
We want to travel with him back to his own country.
We can help him out if he gets into trouble.
You? What could you do for him? You know nothing of life in the land of the giants. No, but some of those things he told us about, flying machines and all those other things, sound very interesting, Magnus. You're better off staying here. Are we, though? Isn't it time we learned about the world outside? I used to ask my father the same question, and he persuaded me we were better off living as we do, simply, without problems. But suppose Paul fails. Suppose he can't convince his friends not to come here. Then our whole life would be ruined anyway. True.
Oh, please let us go.
You really want to?
Yes.
In that case, I can't stop you.
Good.
It's a clever trap. The branches there are just strong enough to bear the weight of the little people.
But anyone heavier falls through.
Large size, man.
Used to be a perfect fit.
Why don't I carry you on my shoulder, Daddy? It'll be easier for us to talk.
I think I'm riding on my daughter's shoulder. A terrible shock.
Don't worry. We'll take care of you.
I know, but I've always been head of the family. I can't very well be much of a head when I'm this size, can I?
Maybe Mom will prefer it that way. Not having you boss her around so much.
That thought.
What about Mr. Foster? Can you imagine his face when he sees you?
Oh, I can. It's just a chance he's been waiting for. Perfect excuse to get me out of the company.
But you're his partner.
Yes, but lately he's been getting ambitious. Too ambitious for my liking.
Hope I'm not intruding.
Of course not, Dick. Any news from Paul Herman?
No. And as I've already pointed out, we really shouldn't expect any. There's no way he can communicate from Bilbo. But I have some good news about the project.
Good news is always welcome. What is it?
Just come from a meeting with our architects. They've completed their new estimates, and here's what you'll like. The total cost of construction will be under $400,000 below Paul Herman's original estimate.
Well, that is good news. Let's see. That makes my total financial exposure in this to $3,900,000.
That's right. I thought that would please you.
I don't understand, though. How could we be so far off the original estimates?
Well, I don't know. Actually, Paul prepared the original estimates.
But you approved them, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did. However, I realize now that Paul is not as accurate as I had believed he was.
Are you suggesting that he may not be as qualified as I've been led to believe?
Oh, no, nothing like that. It's just that I have to pay more attention to little things than I had previously thought. But don't you worry about it. I'll stay on top of every detail of this. This is the most exciting project I've ever been involved in. And you can count on me to make it a complete success.
I'm sure of that, but I don't want to be involved in any friction between partners. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, Mr. Schmidt. I didn't mean to infer any such problem, believe me. And I want to assure you of my complete dedication to Bilbo Heavens.
Fine, Dick, and thank you for the good news.
Well, you're back.
Well, only one more night here. The boatman will be back for us in the morning.
Huh, that's right. But I can't go back looking like this. I just can't.
Well, you'll have to. You have to convince Foster and Schmidt to abandon this project.
Do you think I could convince anybody of anything looking like this?
I understand, but there isn't any alternative, is there?
The other plant. The one that Magnus said would bring me back to normal size. It must be growing somewhere right on this island. I've got to find it and bring myself back to size.
There are thousands, more like millions of plants on the island. How will you find the right one?
Well, I simply have to. It's the only answer. I have to do it.
It may take months, even years, and you may never find it. It's ridiculous.
You just don't understand, do you? You don't know what it's like to be tiny like this. I've got to have time to figure it all out. Would you mind leaving me alone for a moment?
Of course, Daddy. We understand. We'll be right outside.
Ladies, Magnus has given us permission to come.
All of you?
That's right. All three of us. Isn't it exciting? And look, we brought something special for Paul, too. It's a suit. Not a new one, I'm afraid, but at least it's better than that nightshirt he's wearing.
That's very thoughtful of you, Pincus.
It's our pleasure, madam. We also wanted to ask you about our own clothes. Do we need anything special?
Not really. It'll be a little colder than it is here. You may want to bring your winter woolies.
Winter woolies?
Yes, it's long, thick underwear, like sailors wear.
We'll have to see what we can find in the chest.
All our linen comes from a chest that washed up with the wreck over 300 years ago.
It's lasted that long?
Of course. Otherwise, we'd have nothing fresh to wear when our clothes wear out. I'll pack up a bundle for each of us.
Good.
A delightful little costume. Excuse me, I'll take it to my husband. Paul, the little people have brought you a gift. Paul? Paul, where are you? Oh, no. He's gone. My husband is gone.
Gone? Alone in the jungle?
Nago doggaphone, this is terrible. Absolutely terrible.
This is Catherine Bulk. I hope you'll join us next time when the Paul Herman family and the three Minikins return to the land of the giants and problems they never dreamed of.